A visionary banker for more than 38 years, has made outstanding contributions in promoting e-banking and third-party products. He joined the Union Bank of India as a probationary officer in 1974, rose to the position of a general manager, and has also served as the executive director of Punjab National Bank. He was elevated as chairman and managing director of the Central Bank of India on June 28, 2011. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request all of you to please put your hands together. Let's welcome Mr. M.V. Tanksale, the Chief Executive, Indian Banks Association.
Thank you so much, and very good morning to all of you. Thanks to IBEX for an opportunity, and I think I'm privileged that I'm associated with the IBEX right from its inception, that is 2011 onwards. I'm confident the IBEX provides a platform for the solution providers and the user group in the banking industry, particularly to interact and leverage technology to meet the challenges. I think the Puneet's presentation is an evidence to it. Well, I've been asked to talk about a new dimension of customer-centric banking. Is customer loyalty still relevant? I will certainly like to share my views as a practicing banker on the subject. I think the definition of loyalty changes along with the time. The banking has evolved over the period, which I'll certainly discuss with you. And with the change, the definition of loyalty also changes. The loyalty also changes for the different segment of a customer. So for different age profile, the loyalty for the liability customer would be different. Loyalty for the asset customer would be different. Loyalty for, any other kind of customer looking for the banking services, I think will be different depending on what he needs. And that's what is the customer centricity, what he needs. How do you really measure the loyalty? To me, I think the measurement of loyalty should be by the stickiness. That is he really looking for your bank or your organization, that for all my purposes, this is the organization who's to take care of me. The loyalty gets determined by the moments of truth. That is the customer experience. Let me tell you, it doesn't take a time for switching a loyalty. Of course, there are barriers. All that I'll going to discuss a little later. I would just like to give an example. Let's talk of an IBEX itself. In fact, when the moment we got onto the dais and half of this was empty, I was tempted to think, what does a really loyalty mean? I very firmly believe that loyalty probably means a value proposition for a customer. If he feels that it meets with my value proposition, I am there for it. And I think I'm very happy that now the hall is full. So thanks to IBEX and compliments to IBEX that your value proposition meets the customer's requirement. Well, on the evolution of the banking, you heard I joined the banking industry in 1934. It's almost 40 years now. Probably I'm the banker who have not seen any technology when I joined the bank in my branch. Maybe a calculator, facet calculator, where you put the roll and then punch the numbers and drive it like this. Thereon, I think as we have seen the evolution, as we have seen the various reforms right from 1991 onwards, thanks to the advent of the new private sector banks in 1994, who really brought the technology to the banking industry. And today, probably every player in the banking industry, be it a cooperative bank, be it a RRB, or be it any bank, can claim of that I have a basic technology at my disposal that is a core banking solution. I'm sure all of you should know that today all RRBs and all cooperative banks are on a core banking. And going thereby, I think every bank in its own way is trying to understand the customer needs and is trying to really work that how do I really ensure retention of a customer. I remember the old generation customer. Let me tell you, when we go as a ED or chairman and typically host the customer service, one of the old generation customer will come, sir, I'm thankful to your bank. 40 years back, I took a limit of 5 lakhs and today I will a limit of 50 crores. So his loyalty lies with that he has grown with the bank. So don't forget that these customers who have grown with the bank, even with little dissatisfaction at some point of time, are going to be with the bank. But unfortunately, the businesses are going to the second generation. In the same very meeting, the son of that customer will come and say, oh, hi, Mr. Tanksale, how are you? I feel your bank really needs to upgrade these things. I go to this bank, I do this, I do that, but then I'm sorry if the bank is not in a position to get me this kind of a service. What will I do? So you have got the Gen Y and Gen X customers who will be continuing with you, because at least the public sector banks can say that they are the customers. Mr. Ashwini Kumar is coming from a bank which is 150 years old, Allahabad Bank. Now, Dena Bank, which must be around 100 years. All of us sitting here are from the banks who are 100 years old. So we have all kind of a customers, as I said, the old generation customer and the new generation customers. And when you really look at this, I think the most important is that you will have to have a good kind of an analytics of the set of customers that you have and the set of customers that you want. Let me tell you, as a banker, for me it's very, very important that I must decide that what set of customers I need. Do I need only walk-in customers? I mean, the earlier myth of the loyalty, I know that when we used to be the branch managers, and our regional managers would come, will say, sir, branch bhari rehti hai. I mean, there is enough footfall in the branches, and if that is the barometer of a loyalty, I think that is a totally myth. The barometer of the loyalty is that the customer is with you using all possible delivery channels to remain with you. The footfall probably is not the measurement today of a loyalty at all. Today, the measurement of the loyalty, that how many customers are using your alternate delivery channels. Puneet told about a lot of data on the mobile, 81%, internet, so on and so forth. I'm afraid that so much investments have gone into all these things, but the utilization of these products is certainly not as much as I would like to have a representative of the Indian Banks Association. The customer awareness is still very much lacking. And in all such conferences, I appeal to all solution providers that you too have a responsibility beyond banking to support the customer awareness and the literacy part. And thus, when you talk of loyalty, I think you'll have to measure that what kind of a customer I need. Do the customer take you as a preferred bank? I will say whether your preferred customer treat you as a preferred bank. I mean, all these questions you will have to answer yourself when you talk of whether the loyalty is relevant or not. I would say loyalty is very much relevant. The only thing that you'll have to redefine the loyalty with the change in time, with the change in the demography of your customer, with the change in the business models, and with the change in the business opportunities in the marketplace. If you are not changing yourself with the time, what is really required is going to be really tough time. I'll slightly move towards the customer centricity. Ultimately, what is really going to define? All of you are aware that the Financial Sector Legislative Reforms Committee has come out very strongly on the recommendations on the customer protection. It's very important to all of you as the service providers to know that there is a total shift from what you call the caveat emptor, that is buyer be aware, to the caveat venditor, that is seller be aware. All of you sitting here, you may produce fantastic products. All technology products are available. Puneet, I am sure today Union Bank is going to talk of Tabulous, somebody else will talk of something. But with all that, have we really ensured that the customer protection is taken care of? Because The survey which Trishna talked about, I'm going to touch base in the end. It's a wonderful survey which talks on the customer loyalty. I'll share some of the points out of it. But when you talk of the customer protection, which the legislative reforms need, that says that financial services providers must act with professional diligence. Protection against unfair contract terms, protection against unfair conduct, protection of personal information, requirement of fair disclosure, and redress of complaints of financial service providers. Let me tell you, taking a cue from this, Reserve Bank of India has already brought out a draft customer charter, Charter of Customer Rights. The Indian Banks Association, along with the Banking Code and Services Board of India, has already finalized that charter, which probably should be coming any day, which talks of 5 basic rights of the customer: right to fair treatment, right to transparency, fair and honest dealing, right to suitability of products, right to privacy, and right to grievances, redress, and compensation. Having said that, when you talk of only products and the convenience, you will have to take care of all these 5 points, whether you are really ensuring the customer's protection. Because that is going to be the major determinant, I would say. I think the voice is lost. Is that fine? Hello? Am I audible? Otherwise also I am audible, I am sure. I'm audible at the end? Now it's okay, fine, thank you. Well, as I said, that when you are creating, and when in this technology conference, when you all will get excited with the different opportunities of creating products, please do not ignore that your loyalty of the customer will go with his protection. That's very, very important. And those points, kindly keep it in your mind. I think Trishna referred about the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. All of us in the country are talking about the inclusive growth, which is not only the Indian agenda, but a G20 agenda globally. And let me tell you that this inclusive growth offers a great, great opportunity for all of us sitting here. On 26th of January, you will have a declaration, 100% saturation in each household having a banking relationship. The entire subsidies to be doled out by the Government of India in various schemes will have to be necessarily routed through only the banking channel. And let me tell you that there is every opportunity for those customers to also think of whether X bank is right or Y bank is right. You will have many more players in the market, like payment banks, the small banks, and of course the business correspondent agents are your own representative, but they also need to be really upgraded in their skills and capacity to deliver the services. At the end, I would say that the loyalty is absolutely relevant, but how you define loyalty will make all the difference. And thus, again, what really makes the difference for a service industry is the people, process, and technology. You'll have to do an ongoing scan of whether you have got a right kind of people. If you don't have it, can you make them right kind of people by proper skill building, capacity building? You'll have to look at the processes again and again and again. Let me tell you that you get very wonderful questions coming from a different set of customers. One pensioner came to me in one of the customer meet. I get the pension from your bank, Mr. Tanksale, but your bank is very far off from my branch, and you know I can't use the ATM. But there is a State Bank branch nearby. Can I draw my pension from State Bank of India while I have got an account with you, Central Bank of India? But this kind of expectations are there, and let me tell you, with the reformations and change in technology, we ourselves have created a lot of expectation that we can deliver whatever is really needed, and thus How do you really meet with this expectation is very, very important. The factors which really decide the loyalty, so-called loyalty or the retention, are the service quality. This is, I am reading out of one very good paper, that is segmentation of bank customers by loyalty and switching intentions. It is by IIM Ahmedabad. I'm sure many of you might have an access to it. It's in a very recent volume of Vikalpa, October-December 2014. Please do read it. It's a good article on the loyalty which talks about what really determines, and that is the service quality, the customer value, the customer satisfaction, customer trust. Very important. We all talked about today when the customer's account get hacked. Very easily we tell them, oh, you must have responded to the phishing mail. But then we too have owners. I think we'll have to take care of that. There are spurious stairs with the bank. It's called the low loyalty. That's what I said, the footfall. Let me tell you, the many customers, as I analyze the number of accounts in the banking industry, the average number of accounts are more than 1.5. So some of the customer may be having 3 accounts, maybe having 4 accounts, some of them may be having 1 account. And that's how the number of accounts to account holder is more than 1.5. Having said that, a customer decides a preferred bank. He must stick on to you for his some necessities, but you may not be the preferred bank. And that's why I said I give a thrust that you will have to determine, one is who is your preferred customer, second is whether your customers prefer you as a preferred bank. Customer commitment, switching intention and switching cost, and switching barriers. It's a very interesting article to read on the switching intentions, cost and barrier. Every customer does a cost-benefit analysis. And I think this is rightly relevant to the personal loans, home loans and car loans and your credit cards. And he normally would like to see that if I switch over from X to Y, what are the switching barriers, what are the switching costs, and thus all of you will have to be probably ready with this kind of a solution to them. With this, I conclude, and I would like to say that as a service industry, whether you are a solution provider or you are a solution user here in the IBEX, you just can't afford to ignore the customer centricity. Loyalty would be very relevant, but in its new definition and new shape, which is dynamic in its nature. I will only wish the conference all the very best and request the conference organizers that at the end of the conference, please create very strong takeaways from this conference and make it available to the conference participants and delegates and users so that they remain connected with the IBEX for their ongoing conferences. Thank you very much. Thanks.